Hi, this is Nitin Lalwani. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about one of the most effective ways to make money in the stock market. One of the most effective ways to make money in the stock market is to follow the big fish. Now, how do we follow the big fish? We simply follow the trend. Let us understand what following trend means, what actually trends are. If we just keep the stock market aside for one moment and then we look, trends are simply fashion. So if we look at what was trending in the 1970s, this kind of clothing was trending in the 1970s where everyone was wearing this clothing. In the 1980s, the trend changed and everyone changed according to the trend and started wearing different kind of clothing. They changed their wardrobes accordingly. And in the 1990s, again there was a change in trend and the people followed this trend. Same happens when the way we listen to music. First there was a cassette player and then cassettes were played in the Walkman. The trends changed and people latched on to the new trend. Then came the CDs, CD players and the Discman. So now people shifted from the Walkman to the Discman. And everyone started following the trend of having a Discman to listen to music. And then came in the trend of the MP3 player or the iPods. And now we listen to music directly by streaming it from apps or websites. So trends keep on changing and we need to be in trend or we need to latch on to the trend to be updated. Same thing with imaging. The cameras, the kind of cameras that were used, the Kodak manual camera, and now we use DSLRs. So we latch on to the trends, we always follow whatever is trending. Same way with cell phones, no different. Earlier we used to have the Nokia phone which was trending and almost everybody had a Nokia phone. Then came the BlackBerry. So once the BlackBerry came, the trend of Nokia went out and everyone was having a BlackBerry phone. And then now the most trending phone is the iPhone or the OnePlus. So everyone is either having an iPhone, a OnePlus or any other smartphone. So people are basically trend followers and latch on to trends. The same applies to the stock market. If you decide to be a trend follower, you will be making big money in the stock market. There are two ways to earn money in the stock market. One being predicting the market and the other being following the market. Rest assured, following the market is the much simpler way and much more effective way than predicting the market. If you remember or if you have read the newspapers around a month back, most of these analysts or gurus that come on CNBC and all, they said that the Nifty would halt at 13,600, 13,700 levels. But what happened? They predicted something and the Nifty actually ran up all the way to 14,700. Most people who are in the predictive analysis might actually miss out on the trend. That is a bigger one. They try to predict and become right in the market. So one of my mentors tells me, you can either be right or you can be rich. You can choose what you want to be. So I would rather be a trend follower and become rich than just being right and not being rich. So what happens is, our mentality is such, we've been brought up in such a way that we try to go against the trend. In every other aspect of life, we are trend followers. But when it comes to stock markets, I don't know, there is some kind of virus in our mind which makes us go against the market. Whenever the stock market is falling, that is the time we try to buy the stocks. We try to predict and we try to become the big fish, which is not going to work all the time. You may be lucky sometime, but it's not going to work all the time. And rest assured, trend following is one system wherein it may not work most of the time, but the times that it works, it will make you so much money that it will cover a lot of ground that needs to be covered. So whenever we say a trend follower is at an unfair advantage at all times, because as long as the trend is prevalent, you stay in the trend in the stock market. And when you try to predict the market, that is when you will miss out, or probably you will get your emotions into trade. And once you get emotions into trade, you will not actually be able to trade. Because the moment you get emotions into your business or into your investment, that is a sure shot recipe for disaster. Some people, they say that the stock market is manipulated by operators. I would say wonderful. Rather than cribbing about it, I would take advantage and follow whatever the operator is doing. If the operator is taking a stock up, I would go up and buy that stock and go up, and when it starts coming down is when I would exit the stock and I would make that profit. If it is going down, I would probably exit or short sell that stock and make money on the downside as well. So as long as I follow the market, as long as I'm not trying to predict the market, or as long as I'm not trying to turn the market, I will be always on the winning side. So you will see that some people often say that the stock market is overpriced, it is overbought, or fundamentally it is not where it should be. Why get into this analysis mode when you can simply follow a set of rules and say that if the stocks will go up, I will buy, and when it starts coming down, I will sell. Let us understand with the help of a graph how we can analyze whether the stock is in an uptrend or in a downtrend or in a sideways trend. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. Let's say this is a chart. And this is how stock prices move. So let's just name these points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Now, how do we identify whether a stock is an uptrend or a downtrend? And how do we know whether it has moved from an uptrend to a downtrend? We can clearly see that the prices over here are going down and the prices over here are going up. So this being the time axis and this being the price axis. So whenever a stock moves from point A to B and then from B to C over here, so this is when we say B has a top created, or it is a peak that has been created. How do we know it is a peak? Only when it turns from here and comes down. And when we say from C it starts to rise and goes on to point D, this is a bottom that is created. So whenever this previous peak is crossed, that is the time we say that the stock is in an uptrend. And successively, whenever the previous peak is getting crossed, the stock is continuing to be in an uptrend. Another way of looking at uptrend is, one is when the peak is crossed, and B, when it is creating a successive higher bottom. You see, from point A to point C is a higher bottom. From point C to E is another higher bottom. From E to G and G to I is a higher bottom. So as long as it is creating a higher top and a higher bottom, it is said to be in an uptrend. So whenever the stock prices are going on moving up, I will try to buy the stock rather than selling at higher points, because we don't know where the stock will halt. One understanding of where the stock will halt or probably go down further is when a previous bottom is crossed over here. say at this point I, a previous bottom which was crossed on the lower side tells us that the stock is now in a downtrend. And you see it rises from point K to L, but it does not cross this point J. This is when it confirms that it is not going higher anymore and it starts going down from point L to N. And again, this breaches the previous bottom, which is a further confirmation that the stock is going down and you can exit the stock. So every time that you see it is creating a higher top and a higher bottom, that is when you will see that the stock is continuing to rise. What most trend followers will get is they will never get the bottom, which is point A, or they will never get the top, which is point J. But to get the cream is most important, and the creamiest part is here from point B over here. This is the point from where you will enter the stock, and this is the point where you will exit the stock when your bottom is being breached. So this will be roughly around 60 to 80% of the move which you will get. If you try to get the exact bottom and the exact top, I can say probably you will get it in once in a million chances, or once in a year. If it is to be very often, you will get it once in a year, but you will not be able to get it every single time, because projections or predictions are something that the big fish do. These experts, these people are the ones who drive the market, and we can only try to predict the market. So these are the, if you have some 5-10,000 crores, you can certainly drive the market. But if we are doing with a retail investment of even 10-20 crores, it is no big deal in the market. The market is too wide, it is an ocean. All we need is to remove a bucket of water from this vast ocean and never ever try to swim in this ocean, because the ocean is such that most people who try to swim in the ocean drown with the current. So you need to stay outside on the sides and take your bucket of water, take your profits and keep taking it regularly so that you can create your wealth. So with this video, I have shared that as long as you are in the trend, you will keep making money. And trend following is by far one of the most effective way. It is the way that most big traders do. You can say Rakesh Jhunjhunwala or the Rakesh Damani or the Radhakishan Damani, Ramesh Damani or Vijay Kedia. These people do trend following in a fundamental analysis. We are doing it on a technical basis. So technically or fundamentally, following the trend is the most important thing. If you say fundamentally, what these people do is they try to find out companies which are the next, they are in the next big thing. Say probably AI, artificial intelligence. That is the next big thing that is going to trend, or that is trending right now. So these big fish will invest in such companies. All we need to do is follow the big fish. Because if you see in the ocean, when big fish and small fish come in front of each other, the big fish eats up the small fish. So we don't want to be eaten up. We rather follow the big fish and to the direction that they are going. So I have shared one of the most effective ways of making money in the stock market. In my next video, I will be sharing a system, a trend following system, which can be followed to make money in the stock market. If you have found value in this video, please do comment and tell me that what value did you get out of this video, and please share it with other people so that you can help spread the knowledge, so that some other person does not get trapped in the market. At least even if you're not making money, I want you to not get trapped in the market by these elements, by this knowledge that you have now. Thank you so much.